All right, it says we're live, so hello YouTubers. This is another Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition gaming session with the Unnamed Adventurers Guild. I am Ty Johnston, the Dungeon Master of the Night, and we've got a few players with us with their characters, and tonight we're doing something a little different with the Unnamed Adventurers Guild. Instead of the Dungeon Master coming up with a mission, this is kind of a free session or an open night, and the characters get to tell me what they're going to do. And I get to react to it one way or the other. So instead of going through typical character and player introductions, I'll just, if you guys want to, I'll just let you do it sort of as we're in gameplay, which, as I mentioned in our notes earlier, you guys are in the city of Illumina. You are at the Guild Hall in Illumina. To sort of set the stage a little bit, you guys are on your own. Pincus has gone to Endotirion, to the Guild Hall there, to meet with Federo about some guild business and to look into some other business situations in that area. Adelaide has gone off to a monastery to sort of meet with some old friends and companions who are also monks. So there's really not a guild leader at the moment at the Guild Hall in Illumina. So that means you guys are kind of in charge almost. But no, Pincus didn't leave you like the guild credit card or anything like that. So, yeah, and some of you kind of live at the guild at least part-time anyway, so it's not like you wouldn't be there. So now we're starting. What do you guys want to do?
I like to drink some beer with the elves and discuss who can hunt the best prey by dating.
The best what?
Who to date the best women. And I'm gonna taunt them and try to get them into a contest.
Oh, our other adventurers?
Yeah.
Well, that's up to them if they're interested.
Well, Eros will be half listening to that, and he goes over and he kind of checks his pulse and he says, "Yes, I am alive. Out that I survived." And he's looking through up on the bulletin board of open jobs. There's something that may catch his eye. He's needing to find some herbs and like that, so he can make some more healing salves and such. But he's just milling around the guild hall, looking at the advertisements, just being real thankful that he survived the last go around, and checking his pulse every once in a while, saying, "Yeah, I am. I'm still alive. I'm breathing."
Well, one thing Eros will know about, or will have recently probably found out about, is the guild in Illumina does have what has been termed a safe house, sort of on the edges of the city on the other side of the river to the southeast, and there are herbs grown there. Now, they may not be the ones he's interested in, but he will know there's an herb garden there.
Well, okay, and he'll be keeping that in mind as far as that, and he being that it's a safe house, he doesn't want to make too many trips to it to kind of rat it out. So
Yeah.
he would wait for them to bring whatever they grown that's ready for market to the Illumina marketplace in the bazaar.
Okay.
To be purchased.
Okay.
Erwin is going to go across the street. He just got back from Endotirion and he wants to find out what's going on and who owns the building across the street. So he's going to go over and see if he can talk to the owner.
Well, I'll say it's about noonish, the middle of the day, and as you walk across the street, as you're going forward, you've obviously been there before, and the front door there is not one at the moment. There's just the opening, and there's some black marks like soot and stuff around the door. And as you're walking towards it, you can hear some banging and sawing-like sounds coming from inside, but that soon stops, and about a half dozen kind of big, dusty-looking guys in work clothes come out, and most of them have like tool belts and stuff on, and it's lunchtime, so they're taking a break. They're all sitting out sort of in front of the place. They find some shade to sit in. And they're definitely all construction workers. And they're just sitting there breaking open their sacks or their pails or whatever and eating their sandwiches and their lunch.
Yeah.
And unless you walk right up to them or say something to them, they pretty much just ignore you. And there are other people on the street passing by too.
Yeah. I go up to who seems to be the leader and ask if the owner of the establishment is here.
He takes a bite of his sandwich and swallows it and says, "Nope, he's out of town at the moment."
Do you know who it is? Because I'm from across the street and I'm interested to know who now owns the place.
Yes, I know who it is. I'm not sure I'm supposed to say.
Yeah.
Not trying to be an ass or anything, but I wasn't told not to say anything, but I'm thinking it might be safer just to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. Do you know when he's coming back in to look at the place?
Probably within the week. I don't know the exact
Okay.
day, but within the week.
Yeah. Okay.
I do know this won't be a tavern anymore, I think.
Oh. What are you guys making it into?
Well, right now we're trying to fix the floor that was burnt, so we had to cut out about half of it. And the walls, the beams are still pretty sturdy. They'll be okay, but the outer walls took a good heating, so they've got to come down, and we've got to put some new walls up. The roof, the ceiling, surprisingly, on the first floor didn't take too much damage, so nothing we can't fix cosmetically. So the upper floor should be okay. We had to take the bar out altogether because whatever fire went off in there, it lit all the alcohol up, and the whole bar was gone. So, and all the furniture had to be thrown away. So we'll be getting new stuff there. But I don't know. We haven't heard. We don't have like plans yet, or like architectural plans for the place. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be a bar again.
Yeah. I guess that what happens when someone casts fireball.
Oh, a fireball? Is that what happened?
Yeah. Yeah, you could. It was some skirmish that happened in the middle of the night. You could, looking across the street, there was some people getting into it with a sorcerer, and a fireball went off, and yeah, yeah. I don't. Yeah, I don't really know what happened after that. It went really bright and woke us all up. So.
Oh. Well, it did a fair amount of damage, but it didn't take the building down. That's good, but
Yeah.
we need to hurry up and get this job done.
Yeah, it was our favorite place to drink because it was right next door.
Oh, I usually go to Mother's myself.
I'm never going back to Mother's. It's not a good place to go. You should find a new establishment.
Mother's is a great place to go.
Yeah. Until you run into wrong people there, and then it's not a good place to go.
Well, that's half the reason I like going, is running into the wrong people.
Mhm. Oh,
I like to
you,
play the ponies, so that's a good place to go to put down bets. Let me put it that
yeah,
way.
yeah. Oh, you guys enjoy your lunch.
All right. Thank you much. If
Yeah,
the boss man comes back in town, I'll tell him some folks across the street at the guild were asking about him.
yeah. And I'm going back into the guild hall.
Okay. Well, store and arrows are still there. There still are a few servants around. So you guys don't have the place completely to yourself. There's some people, keeping the place cleaned up and things like that.
Mhm.
So,
What
go ahead.
what time of day is it?
It's about noonish.
About
Or
noonish?
they just started lunch across the street, so it's probably right
Yeah.
at noon.
Okay. So Arrows will after flipping through, seeing that there's nothing that really jumped out at him and like that, and he's going to go see how the activity down in the bazaar area in the marketplace is
Okay.
going, as far as for him to uh, pick up some of the herbs and spices that he may want.
Okay. It's the middle of the day, so it is lunchtime. So things have, for roughly about a half hour to an hour, things have slowed just a little bit at the bazaar. It's not as at its most busiest time of the day because a lot of people have gone off to eat, and it's getting to the hottest time of the day. But there are a few like food vendor carts and stuff, so there's still plenty of people around. Um, do you know specifically what kind of herbs Eros is looking for?
Uh, he's looking for kingsweed, and he's looking for hawthorn root and St. John's root.
St. John's is the first one you find. It's pretty easy.
Okay.
And as you're looking around for hawthorn root, you will find out that pretty much everybody's out of it at the moment. Um, that the weather has not cooperated, so to speak. They're hoping sometime in the next few weeks maybe to get some in, but right now they're out of it. And what was the first one you wanted again?
Kingsweed.
Kingsweed. You can find kingsweed, but there's not a lot of it, and
Okay.
it's double normal price.
All right. And what Eros will do is he's just going to walk the bazaar area, looking at the quality of the spices and the herbs
Okay.
that are there, and watching the prices that they have on it, and
Okay.
so he can figure out what he wants to necessarily do in that aspect, and he'll also be looking for some pine bark and hemlock bark if they got it.
Pine bark they do not have. The hemlock bark, there is a little of it, not a lot, and it's kind of the same thing. It's double price, double regular price right now.
Yep. All right. Good. I'll let you get back to the other guys.
And most of the herbs you find are actually pretty good quality stuff.
All right.
They're obviously not as fresh as like if you went out and picked them themselves, but they do seem to be pretty good quality, more than usable. Store. So what are you doing? Eris has
I
gone off to look at herbs.
I follow Eric to the market,
Okay.
and I still think I have a competition with him, so I'm gonna buy some flowers, pretty
Okay.
flowers, just to. And if I see any high-standing women down there, I'm gonna
You
for
see,
sure.
there are young ladies here and there everywhere. From your viewpoint, some are better looking than others. But there is, in the middle of the bazaar, there is an old well where people sometimes draw water from. And standing next to that well are three, I hesitate to use the word ladies because they're not nobility necessarily, but it's obviously these three women are not like peasants.
Yeah,
They're,
commons.
they're,
Yeah.
they're maybe a little bit above commoners. They seem to be fairly well dressed. Um, and they even have an escort, a young man in chainmail. No, Charles, they're not hags. They're succubi. Uh, they even have an escort. It's a young man in chainmail with a sword, but he kind of is sort of standing in the background and giving them their space. And these three young ladies, they're all probably like in their early 20s. They're all extremely attractive, and they're just kind of hanging around almost like in a little huddle, just sort of chitting and chatting and gossiping, and every now and then they'll kind of point and laugh at somebody who walks by or something like that.
I'm gonna buy some flowers, pretty flowers, and I don't know how much that costs.
Uh, for common flowers, probably you can get some nice ones for a silver. If you're wanting something like really nice, probably maybe 5 silver.
Yeah, 5 silver then.
Okay. Yeah, you can
And
find a bouquet of nice flowers for 5 silver.
I go up to them and kneel and say, "Here, my ladies."
Their escort will kind of step forward, and his hand sort of eases towards his sword, but he doesn't actually touch the hilt or anything. But one of the ladies kind of waves him off, and he steps back. And then the three women kind of giggle at you, but one of them who's a redhead, there's a redhead and 2 blondes. The redhead will kind of come forward and give a little curtsy, and she will take the flowers from you, and she goes, and many thanks to Store the hero who proved his valor in the arena recently.
Did
I
you
am
see
honored. I
that?
am honored by your flowers.
No
Yes,
troubles.
we all saw it. It was fantastic.
Hmm, that's nice. What are you doing here?
We are waiting for my brother. He is supposed to be coming along to take us to a play later today, and he said he would meet us here.
Can I join?
Um, I would give my approval, but it's actually my brother's party, so it would be up to him. Uh,
Okay.
but he should be along any time now.
Yeah. I just, yeah. Can you, yeah, I just wait here with you then, if I'm allowed to do that. And I done a small talk.
Okay.
I'm not good at small talking, but kind of try to small talk. It's not my best feature.
They kind of giggle among themselves, but yeah, they'll talk with you. They seem mostly interested. They seem mostly interested in talking about your arena battle and if you're ever going to fight in the arena again or anything like that. Uh,
I'm gonna say only for a woman I will do that again.
oh, they'll definitely kind of giggle at that again. Even though they're in their early 20s, they act more like they're teenagers. But they seem to find you amusing, maybe somewhat charming, and they'll bat your eyes at Store a little bit from time to time.
Okay. Yes.
Elwin, what are you up to?
I am going to go to the city guard to see if there's any outstanding warrants for people.
Are you going to... Well, the closest city guard station to the guild hall is probably the jail, which you've been to, but I didn't know if you were going to go there or go to, like, the barracks. Or the city... But the jail's closest to you, and you do remember they did have, like, a poster board there.
Yeah, probably go there because it's close and he knows where it is. Because
Okay.
he's still learning about this city.
Yeah, it's just like a couple of blocks away, pretty much, and you've been there and sort of know the characters. When you get there, you find out front of the jail are two really big wagons with horses on them, and these wagons are enclosed. They're like little jail cells on the back of wagons. And city guards, there are inmates are lined up from the door to the wagons, and they're all there's shackles on, and there's chains connecting them by the hands and the feet. And guards are basically taking a whole bunch of prisoners out of the jail and putting them into these wagons. And the person in charge, you will recognize, is a halfling. It's Sergeant Smiley, a little short halfling. He's even small for a halfling, but he's got a uniform on, and he's got a little cocked hat, and he seems to be in charge of getting all these inmates into the wagons. And as he sees you walk up, he kind of will give a little nod of his hat to you, and he goes, "What a day, what a day. We've got to empty out the jail. We've got to take every prisoner out. We've got to take them other places, find spots for them in town. This is just a mess. I don't know where we're going to put all these people."
What's going on here?
"Well, we've got a problem here at the jail. From time to time, people die at the jail. We get a lot of people in off the street, and some of them are sick and not as healthy as they should be. And, from time to time, one of them gives us trouble, so we have to give them trouble back, and accidents happen. So from time to time, somebody dies. Well, we don't know who or what, but don't tell anybody this." And he kind of will lean forward and whisper to you, "We've got a ghost problem." So we've got to clear out the jail, and the captain says he's going to have to find professionals to come in, and I don't know what they're going to do, a seance or exorcism or something to get rid of this ghost. But were you just walking by today, or were you coming by for a reason?
I wanted to see if there was all the guild masters have business outside of town, so there's no contracts, and I was wondering if there was any outstanding warrants of people I can bring in. Gives me something to do and allows me to practice my stuff on living people, because there's only so many times you can punch a tree.
Oh, yeah. You need to punch people from time to time. It's good for the soul. He has like a shoulder bag, and he'll kind of open it up. He's rummaging through stuff in there. He's like, "Yeah, I took off all the warrants. Some of them we actually caught the guys. Some of them are dead. Let's see." He pulls out a sheet of paper. No. Well, there's this guy. He hands a sheet of paper to you, and it's a dwarf. 500 gold reward for him. His name is Forrester, of all things. He's a dwarven ranger, and apparently he got in some kind of a scuffle or some kind of a fight on the south side of town, and during the fight he killed a couple of people, so he's wanted for questioning, so to speak, to see what he knows. But considering there's a 500 gold reward for this guy, reality is that he's probably wanted more than just questioning.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's the only guy we got right now, and
Yeah.
he was last seen at Mother's.
I'm definitely going to need backup on this.
Well, apparently there's no drawing of this guy. It's just a sheet, and but he'll tell you. Apparently, this guy wears, like, even though he's a dwarf, he's a ranger. He wears like a little green hat with a red feather in it. Seems odd to me for a dwarf, but you know, it takes all kinds.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, I'll stop by and see if I can recruit anyone at the guild hall. There's some people floating around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah. If we catch them, where do you want me to take them?
Well,
I don't think I can bring him here.
Well, actually, you can bring him here because in the infinite wisdom of the powers that be, I get to stay here. So it'll be me and a couple of the guys will still be here. So you can bring him here, and then we'll take him off to wherever. I'm still not sure real yet where we're going to put all these prisoners. But by the time you catch this guy, we should know something by then.
I'm sure Store's always up for drinking, so I could probably get him to come with me.
Just try not to kill anybody. Oh, except the dwarf. He's wanted dead or alive, so you can kill him if you have to.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. You know Store, the deadly disarmer.
That's true. He does have a reputation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So back at the bazaar, Eros, you will see Store there, and he's hanging around three lovely young ladies who have a guard nearby.
Eros will want to look around while going around the bazaar, look and see if he sees anyone that stands on out that seems to be paying more attention to certain individuals than what a normal person would be. He's possibly thinking maybe some of the dust shroud may be active down there, since whether it's picking pockets or gleaning information or such, and he knows that they're not exactly the best of friends with the guild.
Okay, you've got a pretty good passive perception, so you'll pick up some things. But give me a regular perception check just to see if you pick up some extra things.
All right, that will be a 17.
Okay. You do notice a few dust shroud. You'll see about 4 of them. But they don't seem to be of the thieving type. They're more of the big burly guy type. And they're keeping a watch on things, but it's more like they're keeping to themselves. They're not really mingling in the crowd. They're sort of hanging around the edges. You don't necessarily get the impression that they're looking for something particular. It's almost like they're city guards watching their territory. Sort of like they're just hanging out, keeping a watch on things. So maybe some of the merchants here at the bazaar do business with them, or one way or the other, but they're just kind of doing that. You do with your 17, you do notice though there is one individual, not a dust shroud, who is trying to be nonchalant, but he's paying a special attention to the three young ladies. He's over by a fruit stand, and he's kind of juggling around with some plums, trying to look like he's busy feeling up plums to see which ones are best. But you really notice out of the corner of his eye, he's watching these three young ladies. And he's a dwarf, and unlike most dwarves you see, he's dressed in leather armor, and some bits and pieces of the armor are cut and shaped almost like leaves. I mean, this is like armor you might expect in an elf, except it's on a dwarf. And he's got a little green, what we would call a Robin Hood kind of hat, and there's a little red feather in it. And like I said, he's trying to appear like he's not looking, but he's definitely checking out these three ladies.
All right, Eros, with that, since store is somewhat close to hanging around these three ladies, Eros will try to stealth his way up within, we'll say, 15 foot of this odd dwarf, and try to keep an eye on him.
Give me a stealth roll.
He ain't too stealthy. That's all of an 8.
Well, you're distracted. You know, you're used to doing your stealth stuff out in the woods and things like that. And here you are in the city. There's just too many distractions. You think you're doing a good job at first, and then like some big lady with a bag of groceries bumps into you, and her groceries go spilling all over the place. So,
Eros, when the lady and him bump into each other, he'll take and stammer to her and say, "Oh, excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me. Let me help you with these. I'm sorry about bumping into you and damaging your potatoes."
Oh, well, thank you, young man. And she'll start picking up stuff, and she'll be more than glad that you're helping her. And when you're done and things are back in her bag, she'll actually take out a copper coin and hand it to you and say, "This is for being a nice person."
And Eros will say thank you, but no thank you. Just give it to one of the temples for the poor.
Ah, very well, I will do that. Thank you, young man. And then she will go on her way. And as soon as she steps away, Eros looks up, and the dwarf is looking him dead in the eye. Just sort of standing there staring right at him.
Okay. And
I'll give it...
and Eros to say, "Sir, is there anything I can do to help you? I was just helping this lady that I so clumsily bumped on into while trying to get over to see a friend of mine that's over towards that fruit cart."
You're an elf, right?
Wood elf, yes.
Okay. He kind of motions you over to him. He's like, "Shh, come here." He's like, "Okay, you see those three ladies over there?"
Yeah.
Okay, real quick. My name's Claude Leafblower. I know I'm a dwarf, but I was raised by elves. By wood elves, to be exact. And those three ladies over there, they got a brother. And his name's Taurus. And Taurus is a lumber merchant. And he's got people out cutting trees down in our forests. And I don't really care for that. So I want to put a stop to it. Are you in with me?
He's going to... Eros is going to use his insight to see whether or not he actually believes him on this.
Okay, give me an insight roll.
So that's not much better than things. He's not having a good night tonight. That's all of a 9.
Okay, as far as Eros can tell, this guy is telling the truth, but Eros also kind of picks up, and this is fairly easy to do, that this guy might not be all right in the head. Let me put it that way.
All
And
right.
maybe it's not his own fault. You know, he's a dwarf. He says he was raised by elves. If that's true, that could, that could cause issues for somebody.
It wouldn't cause issue. It would just cause improvement.
Well, keep in mind he's a dwarf, so he's.
And even a rough stone can have its edges smooth.
That's true. That's true. Store, while you're sort of chatting with these three young ladies, you do notice Eros off to the side talking to some dwarven fellow.
How far is that away?
Maybe 30 feet.
So can I hear them by my passive perception?
No, there's too much background noise going on. There's too many other people talking and that kind of thing. And they're sort of talking in hushed voices.
Okay, that's fine. I just talk with the ladies then.
Okay. And Elwyn, where were you headed to?
I was going back to the guild hall to see if they've returned. Would I know they're at the bazaar?
Yeah, you would think it's a distinct possibility. You probably heard Store talking about it as they were leaving.
Yeah.
Earlier.
Then I'll swing by the bazaar and see if they're there. If not, then I'll grudgingly go to Mother's by myself because I'm desperately to take someone with me because I do not want to go there alone.
Give me a perception roll.
I got a 21.
Okay, yeah, as soon as you get there, bam, there's Store standing with three young ladies, chatting with them, and there's an armed guard standing kind of behind the ladies. And off to one side, you see the wood elf Eros talking to a dwarf in leather armor and a little green hat with a red feather in it.
I'm going to go up to Store.
Okay.
A Store. You see that dwarf that Eros is talking to?
Yeah.
There's a warrant out on him for 500 gold pieces.
On him?
Yeah. It's a dead or alive warrant, so. But I want to try and handle things as peacefully as possible. I could really use your help, and I'm more than willing to split 50-50 with you, or 30-30-30 if we end up having Eros with this, in on this as well.
Yeah, sure. Go and talk to him, and I'm gonna be your guard if something happens.
Okay. And then I'm gonna go to the dwarf then.
Okay. You will notice as you're heading away from the store that the three young ladies kind of point and giggle at you too, and they seem to recognize you from the arena fight, also. But they're more enthralled. They're more enthralled with Store. It seems like. Okay, as Eros, you're sitting there talking to your new dwarven crazy person, companion, I won't quite call him, and the monk Aelwyn walks up, and the dwarf instantly goes quiet and kind of looks at him. Looks at Aelwyn.
And Arrow seeing Aelwyn come on up, he'll say, "Hail, brother Aelwyn. This is a orphan by the name of Claude Leafyblower that was raised by wood elves, he claims. Maybe you know of such a tribe, because our little band hadn't had anything like this that I'm aware of. But I'm not saying it's not possible.
I
uh,
wouldn't know. My childhood was very sporadic in location, let's say that. Uh, so I'm not sure if I've heard of any Wood Elf family taking in a dwarven child.
Well, Claude will kind of bow to you a little bit, and he will say in Elven, he'll say, "Well, when I was a baby, my my real parents were apparently traveling merchants, going from town to town, selling gems and jewels, and apparently there was some kind of accident. I was too young to remember, but apparently there was some kind of accident, and they were killed on the road. And these elves found me, and they tucked me in and raised me as their own."
Mm.
So
what Arrows at this point will say, well, what was their name?
my real parents' name?
Well, that and the name of your adopted parents, and where did where in Erywood did they live?
They were originally, let me see, originally outside of the Dimwood. I was raised. There's some woods up northeast of the Dimwood, near towns of Raylon and Mallet, and those were the woods I was raised in. But my dwarven parents were apparently from further south, uh, along what's now called Demonry Row. Uh, they were apparently. I really don't know a whole lot about my birth parents, um, other than my mother's name was Roxanne and my father's name was Shanter, leaf blower,
Mm.
and my elf mother's name was Allison, and my father's name was Thomas. But hey, Eros, do you think Elwin would be willing to help us with this guy?
I don't know if you'll be willing to help because I still don't know the total background of what you're you're talking about. I understand that you're concerned about the balance of nature and the trees out there being cut down and such, but trying to figure out what you're alluding to here.
Well, we need to shut this guy's business down. I mean, he's got lumber yards all over the place. From here all the way to the Worm's Jaw, in between, even down in the Steel Kingdom. So we need to shut some of these lumber places down. And I've been trying to do a little work myself, sort of behind the scenes, but I kind of, as distasteful as it sounds, I hate to do this, but I think the fastest way to end all of it is to take this guy Taurus out. I hate to say that. Um,
Well, that sounds like a drastic move for something that should be able to explain to them and possibly come to a workable arrangement.
well, I haven't actually ever got to talk to him. I've talked to some of his people, and they always brush me off. They just tell me I'm a crazy dwarf, and you know, and and raised by crazy elves, and that there's money to be made, and to get out of their damn woods, and so like I said, I've been trying. I've not actually hurt anybody, but I have taken out a couple of small lumber mills by myself, destroyed their saws and things like that. And then I finally thought, okay, I've got to come here. And I tried to approach this guy once a few weeks back, but he had guards with him, and we kind of got into a scuffle then. But so I've been trying to keep a watch on him, and I've noticed his sister and her friends come here least a couple of times a week, sort of to hang out. So I figure he's got to show up sooner or later.
Actually, I was actually sent here because there's some people that are really interested to talk with you.
Oh, really? What kind of people?
Some people that actually have sway in the government that might actually be able to help you.
Oh, like city council members or something like that?
Something like that.
Oh, well, lead on then. Let's go.
Maybe Eros would like to join us.
Well, most definitely. I'd like to see if we can come to a mutual agreement and solve this matter in a positive way as far as that. But yes, I'll come. This story's interesting to me, and the marketplace here for the herbs I was looking for is not as appetizing as I was hoping for. Maybe by the time I come back later in the day, they haven't sold as much. Maybe they'll sell a little cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
At the mention of herbs, this dwarf will swing around a backpack and open it up. And he reaches in and pulls out sort of a package of kind of like wax paper, and he opens it up, and he's like, "Can any of these help you?" And it's full of like every kind of herb you can imagine. This package is.
And Eros would, his eyes will widen up a little bit and say, "They could."
He's like, "Okay, I tell you what. You help me out today. We get something positive accomplished and saving the woods, and I'll just give you this whole package of herbs. I mean, I've spent a lot of time out in the woods lately. I've had plenty of time to pick whatever I want. So, give me a hand today, and this is yours."
I'll give you a hand as far as trying to make it a positive resolution on this.
Okay, I understand. I get where you're coming from. Okay, well, let's see what we can do then.
So I'm going to lead him to the city jail without him realizing that's where we're going.
Okay, Store, you see them heading out with this elf, or this dwarf, I should say.
Yeah. Can I ask the sisters or the girls about, do they know who the dwarf is?
They kind of sneer at the dwarf a little bit and it's like, "No, we don't know who he is.
Okay.
He's kind of a weird looking little thing."
Yeah. When do your brother come?
He should be here any time now. He told us he would meet us here at lunchtime. He's not shown up yet.
Fuck. Yeah, I don't know.
You do know the dwarf is worth 500 gold.
Yeah, I'm gonna take some. I think I have paper. I'm pretty sure I have paper. I have paper, and I'm gonna write where I live to. I say, meet me. Oh, I'm gonna ask for their address.
Actually, the redhead will reach inside a little like handbag she's got, and she will take out a card. I mean, it's like a business card. It's like made out of fine paper and got gold ink on it, and she will hand it. She will go over and talk to the guard for a second, and he gives her like a little pen, and she writes something on the back of it after dipping it in a little quill he's got, then gives it back to him, and she walks over and hands you the card. And on the card is her name, which is Adrella. I'll write it in the group chat over here. And the address is to a nice part of town. You know that, and she'll kind of, as she hands you this card, she'll kind of whisper in your ear. She'll say, "That's my private apartment, away from the family and my brother." be there at midnight tonight, and we'll have some fun together.
Okay. And I just nod and smile. And on my way out of the market, I'm gonna buy some chocolate if they have that in this world, or some sweets. And I'm
Uh,
gonna.
you can't find chocolate at the moment, but it's because it's too hot. It would melt. Maybe on a
Some
cooler day, but you could probably find chocolate somewhere else in town. But here at
or
the market, it's
some or some sweet.
yeah, you can find like sweets. There'll be like baked goods and some candies that are ones that won't melt
I'm gonna
immediately.
buy some and run after the people. I'm gonna buy like a bag, so I have a lot.
Okay,
Because I'm gonna eat all day, so I need
okay. For
to eat.
like for like a gold, you can get a bag full of all kind of candies and pastries and I mean just a ton of stuff. Um, and Eros and Aelwyn, as you're leading this dwarf out, you see Store running up to you holding a bag full of sweet stuff.
I'm gonna offer some also to the dwarf.
Oh, the dwarf's like, oh, well, thank you very much, and he'll kind of stick his little dwarf hand into the bag, and he'll pull out like kind of like rock candy on a stick, and he'll kind of put it in his mouth and sit there chewing on it, sucking on it. Ah, thank you. You must be a companion to my two new elven friends here.
Yeah, but they leave behind. They're always leaving behind. So, and I just smile a little.
Oh, we can't leave you behind today. We need all the help we can get. We're going to go talk to city officials about saving the forests.
Oh, are we? Oh, nice.
Eros is going to, under his breath, kind of mutter some words about Store being left behind so far because he's so noisy and clanky.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, the dwarf will actually hear that. And he's like, yeah, I know, it's rough. It's rough. Us dwarves aren't known for being quiet necessarily either, unless we're underground and being raised by elves. Gosh, they hear everything. As a teenager, I couldn't get away with anything. But, oh well. Lead on. Let's go save the forests and all the animals and our fellow elves.
And I'm gonna tell to the elf, but I have an appointment midnight, so you need to be back that time.
I'm pretty sure this appointment won't take very long, so you have plenty of time to make yours.
Okay, cool.
Okay. The dwarf slaps his hands together and says, well, Taurus didn't show up, which might actually be a good thing. And maybe we'll get something accomplished today. So let's go meet these important people. And you guys wander along, and there's people on the roads passing you here and there and stuff. And those familiar enough with the city, you turn up the road that goes to the city jail. And Eros, no, not Eros, Aelwyn was here last, fairly recently. And the wagons are gone. The horses and the lines of prisoners have gone. The front door of the jail is open. And there's a couple of guards outside, but they're not really like standing on duty. Like one sitting around with a piece of wood, whittling away at it. Another one's just kind of leaning against the wall with his eyes half closed. And sitting on the stoop right in front of the door is Sergeant Smiley, the half-elf. And he's kind of got like a big, thick book in his hand and a sheet of paper, and he's writing something on it as you guys are coming up.
I'm gonna offer them candy.
The guards suddenly become interested, and each of them will kind of reach forward and take out a couple of pieces of hard candy and pop it in their mouth, and Sergeant Smiley's like, "Oh, well, thanks. This looks like a good thing." And he's a little pickier, but then he picks out like a little pastry filled with berries and pops it in his mouth. Many thanks.
No trouble.
And Claude the dwarf is like, "What are we doing here?"
Sergeant Smiley is going to show you to the person that wants to meet with you.
And for the first time, Sergeant Smiley his head snaps over and he sees the dwarf, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, the person that wants to see you. Hey, Pinko, you and the other guy, take this dwarf. Take him to where he belongs. Yeah, where he needs to go." And the two guards kind of smile and they step forward, and they're like, "Sure, come with us." And Claude gets a big grin. He's like, "All right, finally, some respect around here." And the guards will walk off with him, and he will kind of walk away. And they go on down the street.
And Store's gonna say it like slowly because it's not his style to be deceitful. But I didn't know where we need to go, so.
And Smiley's kind of like, "I can't believe it was that easy. And you found him pretty quick."
I actually didn't find them. I went to the bazaar because I knew them were there. I went there to recruit them to go to Mother's to try and find them, but when I went there, he was already talking with Eros, and just
Eros will interject during this and say, "Find who?"
Oh, there's a warrant out on the dwarf for 500 gold pieces.
There's a warrant out for Claude Leafblower?
Yeah, he got into a scuffle and killed 2 or 3 men, so they wanted him for questioning.
Where's the warrant?
The sergeant's like, I've got it. I just don't have it on me at the moment.
I thought I took it with me. I pulled it out of my bag.
Well, that's not actually a warrant. It's a wanted poster, but
well,
got
yeah,
that.
I pulled out the wanted poster
And what's on the wanted poster?
It shows that he's wanted in questioning.
But does it say his name?
It does actually. It'll say Claude Leafblower at the bottom.
Okay. All right. Then
And
Arrows will be fine with it.
And it gives a little description of what he looks like, and it matches. And while you guys are all standing there talking, give me perception rolls.
Oh, that's better.
15.
15.
We're looking at a 21.
Oh. Well, all of you notice, but Eros notices a little faster than everybody, that as you're all sitting there talking with yourselves and Sergeant Smiley, about 100 feet away, where Claude has gone off with these two guards, everything seems happy-go-lucky at first, and they appear to be kind of talking amongst themselves, and then all of a sudden, Claude jerks away from them, and you're too far away to hear what's said, but you can tell from facial expressions that there's some kind of heated words, and suddenly Claude turns and runs down an alleyway, and the two guards give chase and go after him.
I am going to dash after him.
Okay.
Arrows is going to ask for the 500 gold pieces since we
Yeah,
did
me
deliver
too.
them and put them into your custody.
Yeah.
Smiley
will kind of stand up and look after the fleeing dwarf and go, "Well, he's not currently in our custody."
But he was.
He was. We gave him to you.
You got a painting? You got proof?
Just a half now, and we test him and.
Until I get that guy, I can't hand out any money.
Oh fuck!
Sorry, guys. That's the way it works.
You owe me 20 gold pieces for the pastry.
And Arrows will turn around and say, "You must get your integrity from your human parent."
Yeah.
My human parent? Uh, okay. Yeah, Claude ran down an alley. The two guards
Okay.
are behind him. Aylwin, were you following right behind?
Oh yeah, I was dashing with my 90 feet of movement to.
Okay, you definitely catch up quickly, but the problem you run into is the two guards are in front of you, and these are both big, heavy guys in studded leather armor with swords, and you can't get through them easily anyway. And they're not like slowing down to give you room to get through.
Do I know the alleyways well enough to be able to go run around and cut them off?
Yeah, you probably do. Here, you do know it opens up in a road ahead of you. And with your extended movement, Eros and Store, after you were done finding out you're not going to get paid, you saw Eros disappear down an alley, and then about 2 seconds later, he comes flying back out of the alley. Or not Eros, you saw Aylwin disappear up an alley, and then 2 seconds later, he comes flying back out, and it looks like he's going for a jog around the block.
Oh, I just gonna look down at the elves. I'm gonna. Is there a horse nearby?
Actually, there is a horse tied up at an establishment next to the jail.
So is that jail horse?
No, this is actually a brothel, but there's a horse tied up in front of it.
I'm not gonna take that.
That ought to be good.
And there's, let's see.
After making the questionable remark to the Sergeant Smiley, and seeing Aylwin down there pop out, back out, and head down around, Eros will dash to try to catch up with Aylwin.
Okay. Good luck with that. You can run after him, but he's a monk and he's flying along.
Well, yep, but that's the best I can do is 70. So
Yeah, you've got pretty good movement too, but he's still even
no,
faster.
I understand that. It's just
Yeah.
so I can move down there towards him.
Store, what are you up to with your slow, heavy, loud self?
Yeah, how high is the buildings?
2 stories.
Nah, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna run with the dash run, and I'm
Okay.
gonna dash.
Okay.
If they block me, I'm gonna use my pike as a thing to jump over them.
They're not intentionally blocking you, but they're between you and the guy. And I'm going to say on the road on the other side, Claude comes out into the middle of the road. And there's some traffic here, so he's kind of dodging between people and the occasional horse or mule or wagon or whatever. And the guards come out, and they're a good little distance behind him. For a dwarf, he's moving pretty quick, faster than the normal dwarf anyway. And Store, you come out behind the guards, and they're no longer blocking your path. You see this dwarf jumping around. And Aylwin, you have made it around the building. You're coming up to the end of the alleyway, and you've just seen the dwarf dart out. He's still about 30 feet in front of you, and he's sort of in the crowd, zigzagging around among people. And you see the guards and Store come out, and the two guards are kind of stopping and bending over, catching their breath. They're obviously tired.
Hmm.
And Eros is behind you. He's a good little, maybe 30, 40 feet behind you, but he's coming too.
Can I get to him with 45 feet?
Yeah, you can get to him.
Okay, I'm gonna try and get in front of him, and then when I'm in front of him, I'm gonna say, Don't make it as hard as it has to be.
He kind of comes to a stop and looks up and says, "Elf friend, you've got to help me. You've got to help me get away. These humans, they're destroying the forest. We have to do something about this."
Yeah. Oh. I may be from the forest, but the law comes first, and you are definitely on the wrong side of that.
No, no, I'm not talking the law. I'm talking justice. There's right and there's wrong. And these humans are wrong. They're destroying our homes.
Well, then you should have tried and convinced them and not flee.
They're basically talking, so Eros can catch up and store.
Eros will stop about 30 feet from there, pull his longbow, and
Okay.
he'll shoot at Claude.
Oh, you're shooting at him?
Yes.
Roll to hit and even roll with advantage. You would have him from behind at this point. I will point out that if you roll very, very badly, you are in a street where there are other people. It's not crowded, but there are other individuals.
27 to hit.
That will hit. Roll for damage.
All right. And that will be 9 points of damage.
Wow. Ow! Claude suddenly has an arrow sticking out of his back. Or you see this, and the guards are there, but they're still like out of breath, one hand against the wall, kind of like, yeah, go get him, go get him.
I don't know, else do they have some cuffs? And to lean my hand out.
Yeah, one of them reaches back and pulls out some shackles and hands them to you. It's like, yeah, there, take him, go get him.
I'm gonna run and try to grapple him and put them on him.
Give me a grapple roll.
A what?
Grapple roll.
Yeah.
Basically, athletics roll.
Yeah. Oh, 20, not 20.
Oh, yeah,
That is a 27.
You've got him no problem. He's got an arrow sticking out of his back, and he squeals, and he's trying to fight you off, but the arrow has weakened him so much. Yeah, you've got hold of him for sure.
And I'll put the shadow on him.
For that, give me a dexterity roll, because he's going to try to. Oh.
15.
You can't get his hands in. You've got hold of him, but he keeps jerking his wrists around, and you can't get his hands into the shackles.
Hmm.
And about this time, you guys are standing there fooling with this guy, and suddenly steps up to you is a woman. She's also a redhead. She's got really long red hair, very attractive, even more attractive than the Adela that you met earlier. But she is dressed in black studded leather armor. She has a black cloak on. There's a rapier on her hilt. She's got like black leather boots that rise up to her knees, green eyes that are captivating, and she just sort of stands forward and immediately has a presence, and she will say, "Let the dwarf go."
Who are you?
And the dwarf immediately like stops and looks at her, and even he's like, "Who are you?" And she looks at the dwarf and says, "You're the one who paid me to do a job, and I expect to get my money. Once I get paid, they can do whatever they want to. But until I get paid, you're not going anywhere." And the dwarf's like, "Oh, yeah, but you're not the one I met, but I don't have the money on me." And the lady kind of looks to each of you, or she looks to Storr and Aelwyn, and she's like, "Give him over into my custody, and once I get what's coming to me, I'll make sure he is returned to the city."
How much does he owe you?
That's between him and I.
Oh, if it's a certain amount, maybe I can give you what you're owed from me. And
That's not the point. He owes me the money, not you. If you give me money, then you're hiring me for a separate job. He owes me money for a specific job.
But who are you?
Yeah.
Who I am is of no consequence to the lot of you.
Does Eros hear the conversation?
Yeah, she's talking loud enough. You're only 30 feet away,
Yeah.
and the
I'll give them to you on the condition that me and Store can come with as well.
she looks at the dwarf and says, "Can they take you to get your money?" And he's kind of like, "I'm not showing you guys where I keep my money hidden. Besides, it's out in the woods outside of the city. It'd probably take half a day to get there."
You don't have to show us exactly where the money is. We're just coming along to make sure you don't run away after you pay her.
How healthy does Claude look?
He could still run and put up something of a fight, but he definitely took a good hurt from the arrow in his back. But he doesn't look like he's going down immediately.
We're not interested in your money. I am fulfilling a warrant that's required you to show up and explain yourself. Not to be arrested, just to explain yourself.
I like money.
Okay, so you have to hide it from him, but not from me. I am not interested in your money.
Eros will cast Hunter's Mark on him.
On who?
Claude.
Okay. Okay. Elwyn, the woman, will look at you and she'll say, "It doesn't matter what you're interested in. I'm interested in my money, and I expect to be paid. If he's in custody, I don't get paid."
Hmm.
Can I see a resembling by the what do you call it? Layla and her.
No, they don't. Other than having red hair, no, they don't look
Okay.
like.
Okay, sure.
Um,
Does
So
she
I just
if she reaches for him?
she's not reaching for him. She's
No, but I'm setting up course of actions.
okay.
If she reaches for him, Eros will shoot him again.
I
Okay.
don't try to pull him away if she reaches for him, but
Yeah, she's not. Once she stepped up, she has not made any other movement other than like her head moving from person to person.
Okay. Lead the way. You're going to pay her, and then you have an appointment to talk with some people.
The two guards, they will come over and like, "So what are you people doing now?"
He has some outstanding debts to pay first, and then he's going to come back and talk with Sergeant Smiley.
Okay, that's fine. He's in your all's custody, and you get paid a lot more money than we do. But you know you don't get paid until you bring him back, right?
Oh, it's good to have things in order, and I'm sure things will go a lot smoother after that.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask the dwarf, how far away was your money?
It's probably about a 4-hour march into the woods outside of the city. It's.
I'm sure me and Eros can handle it.
Okay.
And before we go, can somebody take this arrow out of my back and maybe like stop me from bleeding?
Yeah, I can do that.
Well, we can take the arrow out, but we can't
Okay.
stop the bleeding.
Yeah, I can.
Hmm.
I'm a hero. The old-fashioned way. I'd rather heal
Okay.
them.
Well, the guards are kind of like, okay, well, hopefully we'll see you guys later then, and they kind of go off.
Hmm. Well, hopefully your ghost problem is solved by the time we get back.
Oh, yeah, great. Thanks for reminding us. That's why we're staying outside instead of going inside. I hope it doesn't rain.
Hmm.
And they'll go off down the alleyway back towards the jail. And Claude is like, okay, so Arrow comes out and you guys are going to heal me up, right?
Yeah.
7 hit points plus his hit dice.
Oh, okay. Well, he's back up to full then. For the time being. He's like, okay,
Yeah. Also, if you decide to run away, I'm going to take that as an admission of guilt that you purposely killed those people, and that uh, I'm going to take you down.
oh, oh, well, I'll tell you, I purposefully killed them. I'll tell you that now. But I mean, I kind of was defending myself at the time.
Hmm.
So, to my way of thinking, that's perfectly ethically okay.
Defending yourself from an altercation that you initiated, arrows will interject from about 30 feet away.
Well, I didn't start the fight. I mean, I was just trying to talk to Taurus about, taking down the cutting down the trees and stuff, and he kept telling me to go away, and I said, I just need a few minutes of your time, and I kept talking to him, and finally he sicked his guards on me, and they were starting to beat me with clubs and stuff, so I defended myself. What would you do?
Uh,
Disarm?
well, hmm.
Leave,
Well, you could have walked away.
kill them. I don't know. It would go one way or the other. Leave or go away, kill. Yeah, it depends on how I felt that day.
Hmm.
Well, I was just
If
trying to
you,
talk to the guy.
hmm.
And at that point, the woman will say, you don't have to worry about Taurus anymore. You just need to worry about paying me.
What happened to Taurus?
The woman will say Taurus will no longer be a problem for this dwarf.
Oh my fucking god.
Arrows don't like the sound of that.
Uh,
And at this, the dwarf actually kind of smiles a little bit. He's like, oh, so you did it, or the other guy I talked to did it? And she'll give a little smile back, and she just gives a brief nod, but she doesn't say anything else.
Can I chat about this line? Do an insight on him?
Yeah, give me an insight.
21.
She seems to be telling the truth.
Okay.
Nothing she has said seems to be untruthful to you.
Okay.
And the dwarf's like, oh, okay. Well, let's go get my money then. And he's like, we'll have to go down Regal Street and cross the bridge going west. And once we're out there, like I said, it's a few hours walk to some woods where my money's hidden at. And once we get there, I can pay. Well, I guess I pay her since the other guy's not around. And well, wait a second.
I think we need to. Arrows will pipe up. I don't know. This I think needs to be handled by the authorities here in Illumina, because I really have a problem with your lack of concern about lives and ending them so quickly, ma'am.
She kind of looks at you and goes, "Why are you worried about my business?" And I didn't say anything about any lives or ending them.
You inferred that Taurus would not be a bother to Claude, and Claude already showed himself to be rather aggressive towards taking out somebody's life as first choice rather than second or last.
Is Store still grappling the?
Yes.
Yes, the store's still holding.
I am going to try and grapple the woman.
Give me athletics roll.
I hope for something high because I do not have athletics. No, I got an 8.
Okay, she got a 17. So you reach for her, and she kind of brushes you off. I mean, she almost does like some kind of a fancy martial arts move and knocks your hands away. And I say martial arts move because Elwin would kind of recognize it may not be his particular style, but you definitely realize this person knows what they're doing. And she jumps back about 10 feet and she doesn't draw it, but she puts a hand on her rapier. And she'll kind of glare at Elwin and she'll say, "You really don't want to do this." I don't kill for free, but there's always a first time.
And arrows will.
And you
throw
just
in
admitted you kill people for money.
So do soldiers. Maybe I'm a soldier.
Not when you put a cost on it. You're a mercenary. You're bloodthirsty, woman. I love you. But you got to go to jail.
I'm not going to jail.
Store, shackle the dwarf. We're going to need your help with this one.
Okay.
At this, the woman's shoulders kind of slump. She's like, "I really did not want things to go this way."
I'm trying to say, only because I'm in a time crunch, it's gonna happen this way. And I'm gonna snap at the dwarf and put him on my shoulder.
Give me. You still haven't shackled him because he put up a fight. You'll have to give me a dexterity roll for that.
Now, are we gathering a crowd around us out here
3.
in the streets?
I wouldn't say you're gathering around a crowd, but people who were passing by are starting to slow down and watch at this. Now, the dwarf is he's still struggling. You can't get his hands shackled. And he's like, "Look, you don't have to cuff me." It's like, whoever wins the fight, I'll go with them. I just want to stay and watch.
What fight? Ah.
And Arrows is making sure that his statements about law and basically that attracting by law into the authorities are loud enough that the public that are slowing down to hear will know that he's trying to support the law and order of Lumina.
Okay. And you would probably notice doing that. There are a couple of people who run off. Maybe they're going to get authorities for help. Maybe they're going to put bets on who was going to win. Who knows? But there are a couple of people who run off. But yeah,
Arrows remembers the trouble with Fletch and stuff, and he doesn't want to spend a night in a cell away from the moon and the stars.
that's understandable. And at this point, the woman will back away another 10 feet, and she still hasn't drawn her rapier, though her hand's on it. But she looks to the dwarf and she says, "If I do this, you double my pay." And the dwarf's kind of like, if you do this and I get to go free, your pay's doubled. No problem for me. But okay, so that would be 1,000 gold. All right. And he's still struggling with Store, but he kind of looks up at Store and he says, "Look, if you guys win, I'll give you 1,000 gold to let me go. How about that?"
Yeah. If you should get the money before evening, that's fine.
Okay, well, just either way, I'm at 1,000 gold, but I get to go free whichever one of you guys wins. So you don't have to cuff me now. I'll stay here and be a good boy.
I cuff you now so you don't run. Be nice.
Okay, he puts his hands out.
I'm trying to cuff him.
Oh, great.
So who gonna fight? As still to the two wood elves.
It's
Well,
going to be the
Arrows
three
is-
of us.
Arrows is 30 feet back.
Yeah, but she's hopping back.
She hopped 10 foot back, so that's 40 foot for his bow range. That's why he's staying where he is.
Yeah. I'm just going to go up and try and grapple her again because she hasn't drawn her weapon. So I'm just going to try and grapple again.
You run up and try to grapple her? Okay, give me a check.
Modded 20.
Okay, as you reach up to grapple her, she suddenly disappears, and there's kind of a silver flash of light in the air, and then suddenly she reappears 30 feet further away, sort of behind. There are now parts of the crowd are between you and her, and she kind of smiles at you, and she turns and runs down an alleyway.
I run after her.
We should probably just go ahead and go into rounds at this point. Let me see. I need to find her. She actually has a character sheet.
I don't know what this is going to mean for combat because usually when I roll high on initiative, it means I'm going to roll poorly for combat.
Everything else?
Ooh, I'm 20.
Yeah. But I have a higher dexterity.
Yeah. That's fine.
Let's see. Oh. Where are we? And Arrow's got a 12. Okay. All right. Well, she just darted down an alleyway, and Aelwyn, it's your turn.
I'm going after her.
Okay. There is crowd between you and her, so you'll have to run around them. It will take. Let's see. She was 30 feet away. The spell. It will take your 45 movement just to get to the end of the alleyway.
I am going to use a key point so I can dash as a bonus action.
Okay. You catch up to her. She's about halfway down the alley. She's like another 30 feet away, but you catch up to her.
I am going to, as my action, I'm going to try and grapple her again, and hopefully I can get another high roll.
Okay. Give me a roll.
Nope, that's a 3.
Ah. Well, she only had a 6, but still, she manages to shrug off your hands. Store, now it's your turn. They've disappeared down an alley.
Yeah. Store just gonna look at the wood elf and ask him, Have you just drawn set the draw and did the 500 gold now?
Well, we have a brother in the guild that just ran on off, and we know that who he's chasing is somewhat dangerous, so we should consider supporting him in this action.
Yeah, but 500 gold. You got.
Even Claude is like, you guys should really go after her.
And Arrows to say, Store, why don't you head on down that way, and I'll wait for those city guards to come, and we'll turn him on over, and then I'll come down and help you out.
Nah, I don't think so.
So you
How
two,
far? How far is we away from the jail?
an alleyway's length, maybe 70 or 80 feet.
Ah, so only 2 turns. I
Yeah, you
don't
can.
know. I don't know. I say, just run after him. I will test up, and I'm gonna put the dwarf on my shoulder and run to the jail.
He's
All
like, no.
right.
The Claude's like, no. He's like, I know it's 500 gold, but I'll pay you 1,000 gold if you let me go free.
Arrows will start heading on down towards Aelwyn's epic battle.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Store just like I don't have time for this shit, and just run to the jail. He don't want to
Okay.
miss his date tonight, so.
Okay. Yeah, you can pick him up, and you'll be about halfway there.
Okay.
Um, let me see.
How far are they from me?
Let's see, 30. Altogether, probably originally about 80 feet, because she'd moved back 10 twice, then 30 to the other side of the road, and then moved 30 down the alleyway. So from the beginning, about 80 feet altogether.
All right, then Arrows will just do his normal movement, so it'd be two turns to get to where he should be able to see him. That'd be 70 feet. He'll be able to move on that, and then hopefully have view if something doesn't happen in between times.
Yeah, you definitely will have view. Let's see. Okay, so Store's gone to the jail. Eros is there with his bow. It is now her turn. She is going to retreat from Aelwyn with her sword up between the two of you. And then she's going to take a bonus action, and she will turn, and she's going to start trying to climb the wall on the left-hand side of the alley. And doing so, she drops her rapier as she's doing this. But she's not made it up the wall yet, so it's the top of the round, so it would be Aelwyn's turn.
I call out Black Rose. Do I get any reaction out of her?
You do not. You don't get any reaction from her.
Okay. Can I try and climb after her?
She's really hasn't climbed up. She's still right there at ground level. It's more like she was looking to try to find handholds and stuff. But
okay. Well, I'm going to use Fury of Blows to try and knock her prone.
okay.
First one's a 17.
That will hit.
Second one's a 13.
That one will miss.
Ooh, last one was an 8, so I still hit for 1. And
Yeah.
dexterity save of 13. So,
Okay.
she took 4 points of damage.
Okay. She makes the dex save, no problem. And do you have a bonus action or anything you're going to take?
No, I don't have a bonus action.
Okay. Store, it's your turn.
Going for the jail.
Okay. You basically run out of the alleyway, and there's the jail to your right. And the couple of guards are there talking to Sergeant Smiley, and they look up as you come out.
Yeah, I'm trying to say, yeah, here, so I should get my payment.
We don't have 500 gold on us at the moment.
What?
We don't just keep 500 gold sitting around out in the middle of the street. I'd have to go draw it off the city coffers.
Can I do a note or something on you owe me 500 gold then?
Well, why don't you just come with me and we'll go get the money?
Sure. I'm gonna yell to the wood elves and say, I'd go with a jailer so I could get some.
Oh, the wood elf's like 100 feet away across,
But I'm gonna yell
across
stuff.
a building and a crowd, the street. He's not going to hear what you're yelling.
He's doing to make himself feel good, I guess.
Okay.
I'm not leaving them behind. I have told them now. So I'm going with it.
And the dwarf's like, "You really? They're going to take me in?"
Yeah, I never promised you anything.
Okay, so the guards will take him and take off with him, and Smiley's like, "So you're coming with me to get the money, right?"
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. And he goes up and locks the front of the jail door, and then pockets the key and walks on down the road. So Store's going to be busy for a while. Eros, it's your turn now.
Okay. At this stage of the combat, have I made it up there where I can see that yet? Since it was 2 turns.
Oh yeah, you can see it, and you saw Elwyn punched her.
All right, then Eros will shoot her with an arrow, hopefully.
Okay.
And he'll use his Colossal Slayer ability if he does hit.
Okay.
And that will be an 11 on the dice and a 19.
That will hit.
And that will be, let's see here. Oh, okay. On the blood dice, that's 12 points on the regular damage and 2 points of Colossal Slayer damage. So that'd be 14 points total.
Okay. Yeah, she takes an arrow in the shoulder. It's like, ouch. And
does it slow her? Hopefully, it slows her down as far as trying to climb, or
it might. She's not trying to at the moment after she got punched. She will turn. On her turn, she's going to turn and face Eros, and she'll say, "Just remember, you asked for this." And she will draw out a dagger in each hand, and she's going to make some attacks on poor Eros. Let me see here. The first one's a 15.
That a miss. Is she throwing it, or
No? Actually, I keep saying Eros. I meant Eowyn, actually.
Oh,
She meant I meant Aelwyn.
It's still a miss. We have the same armor class, so
Okay. She tries to hit again, and that's a 22.
yeah, that hits.
And then she goes with her offhand attack, and that's a 22. So let's see. Well, good lord. Of all things, I don't have a D4 out.
I'll loan you one of mine.
I've got some. Aelwyn takes a total of 13 points of slashing damage.
Well, that's a lot of damage.
And now it's his turn again.
I am going to spend a key point to do another Fury of Blows.
Okay.
16.
That will miss.
15 and 7. They all miss.
Yeah, they miss. Store is going to get money.
Yeah,
So
I like to try to intimidate the dwarf to give me the location where his money is, because I should just kill him now and no trouble.
The other guard. You're not with the dwarf now. The two human guards drug the dwarf off, so you're just with the halfling now.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's taking his money.
Well, this plan was supposed to be so I had the meat shield, so because monks don't take hits well.
Eros, now it's your turn again.
Arrows will try to do the same. Let's see here. That will be 15 on the dice plus 8, so
That'll hit.
hit. And Colossal Slayer. And that's be 8 for regular damage plus 3 for the Colossal Slayer, so 11 points of damage on the second arrow.
Wow. Okay. Another arrow slams into her, but she's still standing. It's still her.
And then Elvin, as a free action, arrows will holler to Elwyn, "Don't worry, brother elf, I have your back. We shall prevail."
Yeah.
And on her turn, she's going to say back in Elven, your brother's going to be dead any minute now. And she's going to attack twice with her dagger on Eros. Ooh. That's 2 natural 20s.
I am down.
And an offhand attack. She got a 22 on that. She does a total of 24 points of slashing damage.
Yeah. If this were Pathfinder, I'd be -5.
Okay. So basically, you're down. You're not dead, but you're down.
Yeah.
And it will be your turn. So I guess give me a death roll. Hopefully it won't get that, but
Do I get to add my Constitution to this?
no, just a straight death roll.
Okay, it's a 9.
Okay, so you lost one. But again, hopefully it won't come to that. Store's going to get money. Eros, you just saw Aelwyn go down.
And he'll holler out as a free action in Elvish to her, "Bitch, you'll die!" And he's going to do the same action that he's been doing. And, oh, that's not quite so good. That'd be a 17.
Actually, that will hit.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Just barely, but it hits.
But, I don't care how barely, as long as it does.
As long as it hits.
And he'll do his Colossal Slayer, and that will be 11 on normal damage plus 5, so 16 points of damage
Wow.
on that arrow.
Okay, you hit her, and she's looking a little tired now, but she's still standing. And it will be her turn now. And she puts her daggers away and reaches inside her cloak and pulls out something and drops it on Eros' bleeding body. And then she disappears again. She just vanishes, and there's a silverish glow in the air. And actually, she drops it on Aelwyn's body. And actually, Eros, give me a perception roll.
Come on, good dice roll. Come on. Let's see here. That will be a 13.
She's just gone. Though she left a rapier behind, and she dropped something on Aelwyn's body, but she has vanished.
Arrows will rush up to Aelwyn. No, we'll go through this on the turn, so I don't want to jump turn. Because she vanished, it would be Aelwyn's second death save.
Yeah, go ahead and give me another death save, Aelwyn.
1. It should be bad.
Don't say such things.
I got an 11.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Store's still going to get money. That'll take a little while. It's Eros' turn again.
Eros would know that I always keep a potion of healing in my bag for situations.
Arrows will go on up and cast Cure Wounds on Aelwyn, and he'll get that'd be 5 plus. Where is it? He'll get 8 hit points back.
Okay. And
then as a as another action, I don't know if that'd be considered a free action or not, picking up the rapier, because that's close by to them where they were fighting, right?
Yeah, it's right next to him. She just dropped it.
Okay, and then
you grab that.
Okay, that's what Arrows would do.
Okay, it will be her turn wherever she's at, and she's doing something. And now it's the top of the turn, and Aelwyn, you suddenly wake up again. You're still hurting, but you're at least alive. And Eros is standing over you holding a rapier, and in your lap is the head of a black rose.
I raise my fist and I go, Black Rose!
And Store is gone.
I believe ranting at my nemesis is a free action, so as my standard, I'm going to take my healing potion.
Okay. We can basically go out of rounds. If you guys decide to hunt her after her, then maybe we'll go back into rounds at some point. But for now, I'll say we're out of rounds.
Ooh, max healing. That's 10 points.
Okay. Well, Store, since you are elsewhere in the city, Sergeant Smiley will take you to the city's accounting office, and he has to fill out some paperwork, and he has to get you to sign a couple of things. And something has to be stamped, and they have to check and make sure you are who you say you are, but, that kind of thing. But eventually, they will hand you over a little sack with 500 gold in it. It only takes you 2 hours to get your money. And to go through all the government paperwork and red tape.
Sweet bureaucracy.
Only 2 hours. Hey, you're lucky you didn't go to the social services office. You might have been there, or the DMV. You'd been there all day long.
Yeah, I'm gonna while I'm filling all that out, I'm gonna sweet talk them. So next time we go faster.
Okay. While he's gone doing that, what do Aylwin and Eros want to do?
Well, Arrows will be helping Elwin up and trying to assess how bad off he is as far as his damage. If he looks real bloody, or if he's looks like he's kind of brought back to a fightable situation.
I'm a little bit over half, so
Okay.
I'm able to stand on my own feet, but I am far from good.
Arrows will look around and see if he sees anybody around this. And this was an alleyway, correct?
Yeah, it was. But
Okay,
there were also people out in the street who knew there was action going on. So there are a handful of people like staring down the alleyway.
I missed him. Actually, I'm not really sure if it's a him or it's a her. Um, this is not my first encounter with this assassin.
She was a good-looking thing, though.
Last
I
time
love
I
those
saw her,
eyes.
she was a he.
Oh yeah. Oh, good disguise.
Actually, the last 2 times, it was a he.
Yeah. If she still has out seen any business, those guards, we gotta go back and see if the dwarf is still there, because she's probably gonna go back for him.
Well, she'll have to lick her wounds some. I think I hit her a couple good times. I'll do a tracking. Try to track her to see if I see any blood.
Okay, give me a tracking roll.
I mean, it's a shot in the dark.
It's going to have to be a pretty good one, but
Oh yeah, and it's not. So it plays to suit as far as that. You're talking all of a 12.
yeah, there's the usual. There's among the muck and the mire of the alleyway, there's tracks of her, and then they're just gone.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's definitely a little bit of blood there.
So
Yeah.
she puffed again. It was all the same effects. So in the time that Arrow saw her, she moved like 30 feet, approximately 30 feet to his recollection. So he'll be, while on that same roll, he'll be looking in that 30-foot area in his mind, and he will still come up with the I can't find it, too much dust, dirt and stuff that's covering it in the night.
Give me just a straight up intelligence roll,
Oh, that's sucking.
or
No, that's fine. No, that's fine.
it could be
But,
wisdom too. Actually.
Yes. No. Oh, I'll take this one because it's a natural 20.
Oh,
So
okay.
that gives me exactly 20. I have 0 pluses on intelligence.
You definitely pick up nothing from her on the ground other than what you in the sight. But after you do your little 30-foot look, it suddenly occurs to you, oh, the rooftop of the buildings next to us are within 30 feet of the ground.
Okay. She must have gone up there. And then, can you climb up there, Aylwin? I'm not very good at climbing.
Is climbing acrobatics or athletics?
It's athletics.
Then no, I'm not very good at climbing.
Well, then I say your thought pattern was correct. She has business with that dwarf. We can use the dwarf as bait. Let's try to head that way to find him in jail, or see if she caught up the store and cut his throat.
Okay. You guys go back to the jail, and it's locked up and empty, and there's nobody there.
They were moving prisoners to other locations, so they. Hey, didn't I leave him shackled on the side of the road? Why would he be in the jail?
Because Store picked him up and carried him off.
And
Oh no, I'm saying this to Eros.
and Eros explained to Aelin that when you went dodging and dashing down through there, we had to make a decision. Store took him on back. He said he should only be a little bit carrying him on back, shackled, back to the Sergeant Smiley there to get our money and like that. And then I came there to assist. But it's been a little bit more than a little while. I would have expected him at least headed back our way.
If it came to people or money, I think Sor would choose money. So.
No, the hero of Illumina? No way. He would not debase his integrity and such.
Then why isn't he here now? If he just went around the corner to drop the guy off with the guards.
Well, that's something to ponder.
Well.
Well, as you guys are there talking, come strolling back in your direction are the two guards you saw earlier there. The two human guards. Sergeant Smiley's not with them.
Hey, you guys. Do you remember the assassin that tried to kill Fletch that left a black rose head?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that dwarf that you just carried off.
Yeah.
He has business with that assassin who he still owes money to, who we just had a run-in with, who magically escaped us.
Again?
I may be an elf, but I have no magical ability, so.
Well,
she can disappear in silver mist, so.
So it's a she now?
Yeah, that person is very good in disguise because I've only ever seen him when he's imitating someone else. And the dwarf first said he, and then he was talking with a she, so I'm going to assume the she is actually a he. Because it's easier because there's more he's than hers.
Okay.
Either way, that dwarf is likely going to be her next target because he still owes money to him.
Well, right now he's in the city barracks on the north side of town, so he's surrounded by like 50 guards. Good luck to her.
Yeah, but he got into the jail that's filled with guards.
Yeah, but she killed one of our friends, or he or whatever killed one of our friends to do that. Now maybe they can do it again. Okay, one of them turns to the other one and says, well, go back to the barracks and tell them what's going on. And the one guy turns and runs north along the road. And then the other one who sort of gave the order kind of sits back down on the stoop in front of the jail again. So, looks like you guys have had a busy day.
Yeah. Do you know where Store is? He said he'd be right back after dropping the dwarf off here.
Oh, yeah. He went off the sergeant to get your all's money for capturing the dwarf.
And I turned to Eros and just give him a look.
He'll probably be back. I don't know. They had to go to the city accounting office. Oh, gosh. Yeah, maybe towards the end of the day they'll be done.
Charles, you're muted.
Eros will say, have a little more faith in a brother guild member. he wouldn't shortchange us because we know where he sleeps.
And we
And
know
he
how
would,
much money he's getting.
and and he wouldn't want to besmirch his mother's memorial name by doing something less than honorable.
But the DM will point out that he also has midnight plans to meet with an attractive young lady of means, and it never hurts to show up with an expensive piece of finery. Let me put it that way.
This is true, DM. This is true, but
Not that I'm
the
trying to
I'm
put.
sure
Not that I'm
no,
he
trying.
wouldn't.
but Arrows will say, I know he's. I feel sorry for any woman that will come in to any emotional bonds with him because it seems like he's cursed. His fiance gets murdered. His mother is turned into slime. Important relationships of female nature, they seem to end tragically for this man. How could he go and waste good money on bad things?
Mm. Mm.
All right, guys.
Well,
I'm going to take like a 3-minute break, and I'll be right back.
Okay, that's cool. I'll go get myself a drink.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah, I had to bring in Elwyn's nemesis again.
Hmm.
She hadn't been around for a few adventures or a couple adventures or so.
yeah.
At least you didn't bring my nemesis, the
What,
Black Dragon.
hands?
The dragon?
Yeah.
I thought your nemesis were arms.
Arms?
Because you're always attacking them.
Yeah. No.
No, I'll let Charles or Dan bring the dragon back. I'm not going to bring a dragon to the middle of the city. Yeah, not right now anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. This isn't Skyrim.
If it's Skyrim, there's like 2 or 3 dragons at the same time.
I'm back.
Okay. So, Eros and Aowen, what are you guys going to do? Sit there at the jail and wait, or?
Oh. Well, he said he's going to come back, so he's probably going to come back here, so this is probably the best spot to wait for him.
Well, Eros will suggest that why don't, since you need a little bit of a breather, sit here and protect this guard and recoup yourself, and I'll catch up with the other guard that's going to check on the dwarf and protect him going on the way there, and then either way we got things covered.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, you can get in a short rest there, at least. And Eros can follow the guard easy enough, and he takes you up the northwest side of the city, almost like heading across the old bridge where the ferry is, to Water Rat Road, and there's a guard barracks up there, and it's full at the moment. There's plenty of guards in there, and when the guard you're following, he just goes in the front door between a few of his buddies.
And I'll follow along with them, and it doesn't look like nothing tragic's happened, because they're not stirring around looking for somebody or something.
No, not at all. And when you get inside, there's kind of a front room that's an office, and the guard will go through there towards the back, and literally you find it's a barracks, so there's like row after row after row of double bunks, but unusually there are not guards in these bunks at the moment. At the moment there are a bunch of dirty, mangy looking crooks, basically, and each bed is filled with one of these individuals, and they've all been either strapped down or chained to the bed or handcuffed to the bed they're in. And these beds are literally bolted into the floor, so they're not going anywhere. And the guard you followed will go over to some of his buddies, and he starts talking to them and telling them what's going on. And he'll point to the dwarf, who you can see is on a bed, and he's been shackled to the bed by the ankle. And he actually, Claude will see you come in, and when he sees you, he kind of like gets a bright look in his eyes, and he's like, "Oh, you're here to rescue me."
And Eros, as he's walking on down, seeing the prisoner strapped to the beds, he'll say jokingly, "If you guys enjoy this, make sure you check out Helga's House of Horrors. They specialize in these types of things." And he'll move on down to Claude and whisper into Claude's ears, "She's still alive. She's coming for you. Where's the money you owe her?" tell me, and I'll get it, and maybe forestay her wrath upon you, since we battled her pretty bloodily.
I lied. I don't have it.
Okay, sucker. to, to your fate. And he'll turn to the other guard that he followed on down. He'll say, "It looks like everything's good here, sir. Thank you for allowing me to assist you. You're in good company around your buddies, I see, and all these people enjoying the lap of luxury here. I'm going to head on back to my partner and make sure he's okay. Have a fine evening." He'll do a turnabout. He'll head on out.
Okay.
Back to the jail.
All right, store. After you get your money, where are you heading? It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon now.
I hadn't bad. What is the from where I am now to the jail? Is there something meanwhile? I just go back. I just shop afterwards.
Okay, you go back to the jail.
Yeah.
Well, when you get there, you find well, Eros, I'm taking it you're going back to the jail also.
Correct.
So it takes a little while because store was busy and you guys were busy, but you all get back to the meet up at the jail, and eventually Sergeant Smiley will show up there, and a couple of more guards will show up there, and so everybody's back together, and at that point, Sergeant Smiley will say, I don't suppose you guys know how to get rid of a ghost, do you?"
Tilly.
Yeah.
How do you kill a ghost?
Silver, I think.
I don't know. I'd never punched a ghost before.
Just put some wolfsbane up over your doorway there. That'd scare that ghost. That's what I've heard.
Hey, we'll give that a try then. And Sergeant Smiley like, okay, store, you got your money, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna throw one back to each of the elves.
500 each way is 166.
Sure.
Consider, you're lucky. I'm still considering splitting it evenly, considering you didn't help apprehend her, and I almost died.
But he
Did you bring the?
brought the guy back to the Sergeant Smiley, who
I did the
trust
thing that
us
made
at
us.
first.
Yeah, I did the thing who made us money. So
Yeah, but he wasn't
you
going
don't get
anywhere.
money to fight her.
We might have got more money, because she was actually the assassin that almost killed Fletch and killed the witnesses. That was Black Rose.
Assassin? Something that good looking couldn't be an assassin. She was those eyes, that long red hair. Say it ain't so.
Yeah. I show him the Black Rose head. Do you remember seeing this?
I don't remember if Eros would have, but Store's probably seen it before.
Yeah.
Arrows hasn't.
Awesome. Yeah, I remember that,
Yeah.
but I don't care.
But I got some good news for you though. When I talked to Claude and let him know that the way the dirt in the situation is, that we pretty much beat up on her, so we pissed her off, and it was all over him, so that she'd be coming for him for that money, and if if he would give us the location of the money, we would maybe be able to stop that. But the little turd said he never had the money. So let her have her way with him, as long as it isn't with pleasure.
Mm.
Okay, so you guys have a little money. It's 3:30, 4ish in the afternoon. What do you want to do now?
I need to buy more healing potions.
Okay, that's easy enough to manage. Um, towards the middle of the center. Actually, you guys are not too far from the center of the city. There's plenty of shops, different kind of shops there.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can find healing potions.
And I'm going to give the remaining 16 to the guild because that's 10%.
Okay, you can do that when you get back.
10% for... This is not a guild mission, right?
Nope.
Technically, no.
So,
But it don't hurt, I guess. Whichever way
Well,
your conscience goes.
I'm living in the guild, so whatever money I can give to them that allows me to stay in their live in the guild hall for free helps.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it keeps the lights on.
I just gonna go to the barber shop to get my beard trimmed and look nice tonight.
Eros is going to look for Fletch.
Real quick with store, actually you can just get like a plain haircut and all that for like 10 copper. But if you pay a whole gold, they'll like do a shampoo and they'll like spritz you with like some Axe body spray and make you smell real nice.
Yeah, I do that.
Okay, they'll do that for a gold. And where does Eros want to go look for Fletch at?
He's gonna. Eros is gonna head on to a couple of the known bars that Fletch used to hang out at or frequent. But he'll start by going down to Mother's.
Okay. Does anybody want to go with him to Mother's?
That is a firm no.
Yeah, I don't gonna stay at Mother's before I go to the other place. But all my armor and all my weapons
Yeah.
is at the guild house.
Okay.
I only have a fine suit and some money on me. And a little dagger, a fancy dagger.
You've got one of those. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, our wood elf friend can make it down to Mother's, no problem. You do have to check weapons in at the door, though, if you're going inside.
I'm not going inside per se. I'm just gonna.
Okay.
I'm just gonna ask the door check if Fletch the Furious is enjoying himself inside the establishment.
Actually, yes, he is at the moment. It's the afternoon, so it's their slow time a day. There's not a lot of people. Not a lot of people in here, but she's like, yes, Fletch is indoors.
Oh, okay.
You want to go in and see him, honey?
No, but can you go and have him come here?
For gold?
He'll reach into his pouch and he'll give her a gold for that.
She's like, okay. She goes in. She comes back out and says, he's coming. And 30 seconds pass and Fletch shows up. He's got a drink in one hand and he's got his other hand has got 5 cards in it at the moment, which he is holding close to his chest.
Hey, Fletch.
Yes, what's going on?
Here's some information for you. Elwyn got attacked by this outstanding dark lady, red hair, beautiful green eyes, a shape. I'm telling you. But the interesting thing was that she left this black rose that seemed to mean something to Elwyn and like that. And I just thought, since I know you have friends in low places, that it may be information where we could profit from.
Well, I know the guy that tried to stab and kill me left behind a black rose.
Well, Elwyn kept saying that it's the same guy, but I've never seen a guy look that good.
Huh. Is she still around?
Yeah, she threw some magic and vanished before we could offer, but we heard her a little bit, so she may be licking her wounds someplace in Illumina.
Red hair, green eyes. Good
Yeah,
looking.
very good looking. Oh man,
Is
jaw dropping.
Is she available?
I didn't have much time to ask her when I was using her as a pincushion.
Oh, you can't hurt beauty like that.
Well, they were hurting one of the brothers. It's one or the other.
Says the guy who shot arrows at the Dark Queen. But that was before I fell in love with her. Okay, well, I'll pass the word around. Maybe I can find out a few things. Maybe even profit from it somehow.
Yeah, maybe we can profit from it.
It sounds like there's somebody new in town, though, because that's definitely not... That definitely doesn't sound like a local, or if it is, it's somebody who's going off and doing their own weird thing. But yeah, I'll pass word around. I'm not monumentally busy, but I'm a little bit busy at the moment. My friend Snog got in trouble at work, and I'm trying to talk him down from the ledge, so to speak.
Well, maybe this information can assist that.
Ooh, that's a good idea. I'll talk to him. Yeah, maybe this information passed along to the right ears could help get him back in the good graces of his employers.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks a lot. You want to come in for a drink?
Oh no. I still got to find some of the herbs I want to make for some healing bombs, but that's fine. I just figured I knew that you and Snog had some relations from the past.
Okay.
So I figured it'd be a nice way to let that information drift on in and maybe make us a coin or two.
Maybe. That could happen. Well, thanks a lot. And he'll put his cards away so nobody can see him, and he'll kind of pat you on the shoulder, and he's like, "Well, I'll see you back at the guild hall sometime then."
Okay, Fletcher. Good luck to you.
Okay, you too.
Keep your back to the wall.
I always do. My cards fly at the table.
This place is murder.
It depends on who's here. But okay, he'll go back in. Story, you wanted to get a fine suit?
I think I have fine clothes.
Okay,
already.
you have fine clothes. I know you've got a nice dagger. Aylwin, what are you up to?
I'm just recuperating back at the guild from my stab wounds.
Let me see. That's a pretty good roll. You can actually, while you're there, you got a very lucky roll on something here. a cleric who he's not a guild member and doesn't technically work for the guild, but he has a contract with the guild to help out from time to time. And he happens to be there when you arrive back. And seeing your condition, he'll cast Cure Wounds on you and give you 7 more hit points back.
Yeah. I'm feeling a lot better.
Okay. And then he'll wish you well and hope that things didn't go too badly out in the streets, and he'll head on his way. And you've kind of got a room, and Eros, you going back to the guild hall after?
Well, it's about 3 o'clock, so he's gonna, or 3:30 or so. So he's gonna head back to the bazaar to see if he can maybe make a last-minute deal
Okay.
on the herbs that he was looking for, that were of the ones that were available.
Of the ones that were available, because it's later in the day now and it's starting to get close to time for the bazaar to shut down, you can get them at regular price instead of double price. Because basically it's late in the day, and the more they sell, the less they have to pack up and carry off.
Yep. And so he'll look to get on the King's foil that was there, a batch of that, and the there was the St. John's wort.
Yeah.
That was there. He'll look to get both of that. So what's the cost going to be?
Oh, let's see. I'll say altogether 11 gold,
All right, he'll give you 11 gold.
which you'll probably think is a little pricey, but still, you are getting quality stuff. It's about as fresh as you can get in the city. You know that.
Yeah. All right.
If I can, I have to see I have no fine clothes. I want to buy some fine clothes and a clump of silver to make a ring, to make a homemade ring to her.
It's going to take more than. I mean, it would take like at least several days to make a homemade ring.
Ah, okay.
Now you could just go buy a ring, but to have one homemade.
Can I buy and engrave stuff on it? Because I have jeweler tools, so customize them.
You're going to do it yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, you can find fine clothes for 15 gold. Depending on how much you're willing to spend, you can find a silver ring for, I mean, you can find a cheap one with barely any silver on it for 2 gold. I mean, really, any price going up. But probably an average, just little simple band would maybe be 10 gold or something like that. But if you want something that's really nice with really good silver on it, maybe 50 gold. Something really 50. Yeah, it's a fairly. There's not any jewel or any gems in it or anything like that, but it is a really nice silver band with just a little bit of artwork around the edges. And then you're going to try to do the engraving yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. With what? Fuller's tools, you say?
Yeah, jeweler tools.
Before I make you roll this, I will just give you a warning that, you know, if you screw this up, it's a one-time thing only. It's not like you can go back and clean it up.
Okay.
So you can either try it yourself, which that's okay, or you can pay somebody to do it.
How much do you cost to pay?
You want it done tonight, it'll be another 50 gold.
Oh, fuck.
Or they'll do it for 5 gold, but you have to come back in a week.
I don't. Yeah, I don't do myself. And
You're gonna do it yourself?
yeah,
All right.
I don't buy 2 rings to Miss Jordan.
Okay, then you have to make me a dex roll, but you get to add your proficiency bonus to it since you.
Oh my god, a dex roll. So sad.
If you can make an argument for using something else, you can try. But right now I'm thinking dex because it would be fine little work with the hands.
Yeah, this probably. Yeah, I'm gonna roll 14 plus 4, 18.
Okay. Yeah, you do a good job. It's professional looking.
Oh, good.
And now you've got 2 rings, one engraved and one not.
Yeah, I used too much money. And yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And the engraving is saying to my future love or my future wife.
To my future wife. Okay.
Yeah,
You've already bought an engagement ring almost then.
yeah.
Okay. So, I'll just say everybody's back at the guild hall at this point, done their shopping and their visiting and anything. Anything else you guys want to do before store goes out that night?
I'm going to mention to the store that the woman that he's meeting, the woman that he would have been in combat earlier today killed her brother.
And
She may not be in the happiest mood tonight.
I don't figure that out. Maybe I can be the owner of the wood company. Marry me into the business. Nah, that's fine. I just say, okay, I'll take it easy.
Oh well, something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
All right.
He's so annoying, that would always come with problems.
All right. Well, unless there's something else you guys want to do, I'm going to jump ahead and to closer to midnight so that store can go see his woman.
Yeah.
My woman.
Well, all Arrows is going to do is he's going to need to take a rest and try to regain his spell. So he's going to go to a trance for 4 hours.
Okay. That's not a problem. And actually, when you wake up for your 4 hours, it'll be after dinner time, and you'll find one of the guild servants has left you a little platter of food.
Okay, and that would be tasty and handy.
And pretty much anybody who's there and is a regular, they'll have a little something set out for you guys. So does Elwin want to do anything special, or is he just going to try to take a rest and heal up?
He's just gonna take it easy, and then at sunrise, he's just gonna go into his regular routine.
Okay. All right. Well, store, it's getting close to midnight. Then you're going to head out.
Yeah, I'm going to the secret location.
Okay. Yeah, you go to the northeast side of town, and there's some nicer buildings up that way. And you get to this building that's kind of like a townhouse, what in the modern world we'd call a townhouse. It's sort of a standalone apartment in a way. And it's multiple story. It's like 3 stories. And as you walk up the front steps, there is a servant there, basically a doorman, dressed up in finery, and he's just sort of standing there with his arms crossed in front of himself, and he's dressed well. And there are lights on inside. And as you approach, she'll say, "May I help you, sir?"
Yeah, I should visit the lady that live here.
Would you be the famous store, the warrior from the arena?
Yeah.
Well, the lady is not here tonight. She left a message that if you were to show yourself, that she apologizes, but she has had a death in the family, and she could not be here tonight. So she will be with her family and her sisters and parents and such. But she did say that if in a week's time from tonight, if you could return, she will be more than ready to meet with you.
Alright.
Once they're through the initial mourning stage and they have buried their family member and such.
But you say to her, I'm sad to hear she lost some near in the family?
Yes, sir. I will tell her.
So, and I'll gonna leave then.
Okay. Well, I'm going to wind down now. If there's anything else you guys want to do real quick, otherwise I'm going to wind down and pretty much say it's near the end of the adventure night. But if there's something you guys want to do, let me know. Nope.
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, it is late at night for the characters. It's about bedtime, though the elves probably don't need it. But all right, I'm going to go ahead.
Eros is just the one thing he'll do after his trance and like that, and he comes out of it. He'll remember that he had that rapier, and he's gonna just look that rapier over to see if there was anything unique or special to it.
I won't even make you make a roll for it. No, it is a very nice rapier, but it's not like silvered or anything like that. But it's not anything somebody could, or it doesn't seem to be magic. It's not anything somebody couldn't buy, in town. But it is a fairly nice rapier.
Okay, and it didn't have like an identifying mark tag to it or anything.
There would be along the hilt. There would be. I forget what it's called. It's basically a maker's mark of who made the rapier.
Okay.
But
the craftsman's mark.
Yeah, there would be that, but there's nothing to identify like the actual owner of the rapier.
No, but there again, the is it a craftsman's mark that I might be familiar with?
Yeah, Eros is enough of an experienced adventurer. I mean, you may not know the person's name offhand, but if you're around swords enough, you've probably seen this mark in Illumina on other weapons.
Okay, then he'll keep that in mind, and then later on he'll want to probably talk or investigate with him, but that's for another day.
Okay. All right. Well, gentlemen, then if there's nothing else, I will sign us off and say good night to anybody out there on YouTube who has been watching or will watch in the future. And I'll thank them for checking in with the Unnamed Adventurers Guild again. Do any of you guys want to do any shout-outs to anything, to a website or a blog or anything like that?
Well, I'd definitely give a shout out to the OSG,
Yep.
those guys, and the European version of the OSG that's out there for the guys that are more European time centric. So both great sites, and I know that you usually get the Nerdarchy guys, so I'll let you do that.
Yeah, as always, I throw out a shout-out for the Nerdarchy guys. I have an article that appears on their website every Wednesday, if anybody wants to read those. And, all right, well then, gentlemen, I will stop the broadcast.